Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. You're now tuned in to the Hard Mode Gamers podcast. That's HMG podcast when you look it up. I'm your host, Super Vega, and today's going to be an interesting day. We're here hanging out at X1 Gaming Lounge, you know, our favorite place to be, and they had a Tekken tournament going on. So I got the man behind it all here sitting with me, and this is Gavin hanging out. Tell them a little bit about yourself, Gavin.
All right, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Gavin from Providence, Rhode Island, born and raised, and I host tournaments for X1 Gaming Lounge in Providence. So that's what I've been doing recently.
That's crazy. I just realized that even though we're out of Rhode Island, like we're Rhode Island based, you're our first Rhode Island guest.
Really? Wow.
We're 4 episodes in at this point.
I'm
You're
honored.
our first Rhode Island guest.
I'm the pioneer for the first Rhode Islanders.
Oh man, I don't even remember. I can't remember where Kyle's from. And the last person I spoke to, what was it, Giuseppe? He was from Australia.
Oh,
so
wow.
like we've had somebody from Australia, we've had somebody from, I know he's on the other side of the country because it's mountain time, but I don't remember where.
Oh, good shit.
And now we finally, and Denmark, we had somebody from Denmark. That's right. And now we finally have somebody from Rhode Island. So how's that feel?
Feels actually good. I'd like to be the first president of Rhode Island right here.
President of Rhode Island, that's how it is. So you host tournaments primarily around fighting games. Right now we're at a Tekken tournament. Is this part of the Survivor Series?
It is part of the Survivor Series.
Okay, so this is part of the Survivor Series.
Okay, so Survivor Series is basically catering.
A little bit more towards you.
It's catering towards mostly Tekken. We've done a couple other games, but the hype right now is in New England is definitely Tekken. I feel Street Fighter V is also very good too, but I'm focused mostly on the Tekken side.
I dig it, and Tekken's one of my favorite games. I feel like I told you this when we met, but I'm not very good. Like I'm not at competing standards. You know, like I've seen some of the stuff these guys do, and it's not fair. But but I absolutely love Tekken. Outside of Tekken, like what other fighting games do you find yourself playing?
My favorite of all time. It would be honestly a toss-up, but I'll put them out. CVS2, aka Capcom vs. SNK 2. That's an old game.
That's very old, actually. That's like what,
game.
PS2, PS1 era?
PS2, yeah.
PS2.
And Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is hands down still my favorite game, but Tekken is definitely a very close.
Third Strike was the first Street Fighter game that I was like, I guess Street Fighter's not too bad because I don't like Street Fighter at all.
Oh, okay.
So like playing Third Strike, I was like, this is okay.
Yeah.
I guess I could play this.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just went back downhill. Mm-hmm. Except for what was the 3D version that they did? Like EX.
Oh, EX.
Street Fighter EX.
Goodness.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I enjoyed that. Like I don't.
They
I
actually
was
made
the
a
only
remake.
person.
They're making a new one, like a
I
remix
saw that.
version
Like
or something.
completely like using the same engine and all like that concept.
Yep.
That's gonna be pretty interesting to follow as well.
Definitely,
so that'll be exciting.
But Third Strike is definitely my favorite game. I've grown up with it. Basically started playing in 2004, right when the Daigo Parry happened. I'm pretty sure everyone knows about the Daigo Parry.
Yeah, exactly.
So when that happened, I heard about it and like, oh, this game seems fun. So Third Strike was pretty much one of my first fighting games, serious fighting games I got into. Yep.
Wow. One of my first serious fighting games. I would say the first time that I took fighting games very serious was Tekken. That was 100% like, I was like, all right, word, I can be good at this game and be better than my friends.
Was that Tekken 3, Tekken 2?
I think it was Tekken 2, to be honest. Like, Tekken 2, Tekken 2, because that's the first time that they had Roger, Alex, Devil, and all those. Yeah, so Tekken 2 was where it started. And then like every Tekken game from that point I played. Like I even played like the weird spin-off ones. So I've done it all. But outside of that, like the earliest time that I could see myself playing competitively was Killer Instinct at the community center I was hanging out at.
Killer Instinct, that brings me back. I played at the bowling alley, at the laundromats. Oh, it was
Killer
so
Instinct
much fun.
on Super Nintendo at the Poor Kids Community Center that I grew up in.
Wow. Damn. All right, but it was so loud too.
Fun.
That game was so hype.
It was a great, like it was essentially Mortal Kombat with like
there's like different characters, different
engine. But it was so similar, and I don't know why. Like they let us play this, but they didn't let us play Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat was too violent.
Yeah.
Killer Instinct was cool.
Yeah, but it's
like,
still violent. It's like gore and blood
exactly.
too.
It was still just as bad. It wasn't like we did anything better, but whatever. I'll take it. So now that you're hosting tournaments, do you feel like it's hard to maintain yourself as like an avid gamer while you're hosting tournaments for other people to be better than you?
Well, actually, honestly, no. Actually, I love doing it. I love hosting. I love the energy. I love the atmosphere. I love everyone coming together, break bread, have a camaraderie. I love it because it motivates me to, build build something. And I've been doing it ever since 2005 at my old friend's gaming center. Rest in peace, Tokyo Game Action. Shout outs to Andy McGuire. I miss you, man. But yeah, that was like the Japanese arcade that I helped in Rhode Island and Mass, like where it used to be. So I've been doing this for a very long time.
I didn't even realize that never would have came to my mind.
Yeah, very long time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I never would have imagined that you've been doing this that long.
Yep.
Who are some of are there any gamers that you can think of that are doing really prolific things right now that you remember meeting long ago? Like, give us the inside scoop.
You mean really people that's from back then that become stars now?
Yeah. Well, I don't like to use the term stars. I feel like we're all stars in our own life. But have blown up a little bit over time, or they're having a little bit more success in the gaming field.
Honestly,
that's not a good term either. Success is a weird term.
Right, but no. Honestly, it's actually sad. It's not a Cinderella story. It's actually a tragic story. All the OGs that I've been with, old gamers, most of them moved on to other things, marriage or different careers. Moved away from Massachusetts or New England. But I've seen a lot of people actually grow. Every filter has that one diamond out of a bunch of scraps, right? One of them would be my favorite, my student, Lucky D. He's also doing what I do, more or less, what I did, but at a larger scale. Lucky D, he's in charge of Traveling Controller, which is basically a company that caters to fighting gamers specifically. And he basically hosts gatherings, tournaments, little tournaments, in Balance Patch in Boston. So he's been doing good things.
Oh my!
He's been
doing good
Traveling
things in Controller.
Yeah, he's been doing
Message,
good things
ladies
in
and gentlemen. There's some knowledge for you if you're looking for
Yeah.
another place.
Yeah. So if you could say the one diamond I find I've gone through history of fighting games, the one I would find is definitely Lucky D. Yeah. He's not he's a strong player, but not like a super superstar player. But to me, he's my diamond.
No, that's great that you can shout somebody out who's doing something similar to you. That just shows the unity that we're creating in this culture.
Right.
It's funny because as I was walking into the X1 today, I was walking in and I was with a friend and I was like that's what gamers look like. Like this is what we look like, and we get very often. I'm going off on this tangent because I just saw an episode about it and it blew my mind. But very often in media and in mainstream culture, they portray gamers as these weird, antisocial, very negative space.
Yeah.
And when you come into a space like X1, you're just wow. No, I could picture every one of these guys at the basketball court or at the grocery store.
At the bar.
At the bar.
The club, strip club too. Same thing.
Yeah, we live the same
people.
lifestyles.
Same
it's just
thing.
we happen to like games more than we like sports.
Exactly. Let's say basketball or baseball.
Yeah.
This is actually another sport. It's same energy, same cheering, and same. How do you call it?
And it's officially now a sport too. It's
Yep.
officially considered a sport.
Yep.
So that I feel like is going to open so many doors, especially for people like you who have been in this for so long that now, as teams become professional and as teams start forming, they're going to look around and be like, all right, who are the people that we need to be in touch with so we can get into these tournaments? Got to hit up Gavin. That's got to happen.
Just Rhode Island, small little tournaments, Rhode Island, nothing super big.
But it's a place to start regardless. It's a place where people
can
step out of their living room and be like, all right, I think I'm finally good enough to get off the couch and challenge people. And then come out.
Good or not, everyone still should come out. We're not here to bully anybody or cutthroat. It's competition. Sure, there is gonna be some cutthroat, but we want everyone to come out and enjoy the same game that we all enjoy. Enjoy.
Yeah, gamers in person are way more friendly than online.
Yeah, definitely.
Online gaming is you talk to people and you're like, wow, you suck as a human being. But then in person gaming, it's oh man, everybody's great. We should all go out after this.
There's no TV screen to protect you, man. But even then, it's all love when you come out and just play the games that we all love together.
Exactly. So who are some of your, and I know this is a risky question to ask, but gotta do it. Who are some of your top favorites, participants in the Tekken series so far? I know Survivor Series, this is technically number 8, right?
7, actually.
This is 7. So Survivor Series 7, you've had 7 tournaments. Mm-hmm. Of those 7, who are some of your favorite people that you feel not just competitively and gaming wise, but just people who show up and they really just make you proud to be a gamer?
Ooh. What is it? There's so many.
That's a deep question.
Well, number 0 is definitely Lucky D because he helps out the whole community in New England. He helps everybody. He's to me, he's the glue to the New England fighting game scene, and he's here helping me today. You know, we're all working together to just build the community. So he don't count as a pick, but he's definitely the pick. You know,
he's
what
a
I'm saying?
pick. He's
a pick. My next one, I would have to say it's still electric. Danny D. He definitely always shows up to our Tekken tournaments. He's a very strong player. As a matter of fact, most of them he wins them. But he's a very humble guy, and he is willing to teach people and also motivate them to get better. He's that type of like. Is that class act? Is that the word? Class act?
Yeah, I would say class act.
Yeah,
he's a classy individual.
He's very, very classy guy. Definitely.
I was just talking to him before we started this about having him on the show in a little while. But another fun fact is I just came from a modeling casting call, and they had tons of women, but they're looking for more males. So like I walked in and I saw Still Electric. I was like, "Yo, bro, you ever think about modeling?"
Yeah, he's
such a weird question to ask, right?
Like, very handsome guy.
You're a good-looking guy.
Sharp.
You ever think about modeling? It might be something for you. I'm gonna email you some stuff.
Yeah, good shit. But yeah, definitely Danny D. He'd be the guy that I would definitely say is my #1 pick as far as helping out the community get better. My next one would be, let's see. Of course, the X1 crew. That also is like pick #0.
Yeah, that's also pick 0 because they're great.
They help host everything.
Yeah.
Shout outs to X1 Gaming Lounge in Providence. Yo, this is actually my home away from home. I'm here like every other day. You know, hanging out, helping people get better.
Yeah, I don't come as frequently as you do, but every time I walk in, like I feel the same love.
And,
I feel like
same love,
I'm
energy.
invited in. Like you get that, like when I walk into X1, I get the feeling like when you haven't seen family in a long time. They're just like, dude, where you been? Like, what are you doing? Like, sit down, eat something, like play some games.
Oh my god, dude, there's so many people I've seen today I haven't seen in ages, like over like a decade, literally. Like, what's going on? It's insane. I love it. That's
good, and that's the type of thing that you want from a community space like this. I feel like it being a space like that, and the people who are in charge here, they make such a great effort to keep everything very well contained and community driven that it makes it really exciting to just be around. Like even if you're not playing, it's just exciting to be in the space and just see the energy.
Even if you're just a spectator, it's still amazing to watch.
If you wanna experience VR and not have to read my articles about VR, come to X1 because they got one of the best VR setups in the world. Very spacious. I love it.
So my second pick. It would have to be Tudank. Tudank is very, very strong player. He's from Rhode Island, young blood. He plays Tekken, he's very smart, very technical, and he helps people. He's very informative. He's always willing to help people out, and he always comes to our tournaments and supports us. Yep, every week. Wow. Austin Lynch also is a very good, very close pick. He also comes every week, and also very avid about Tekken. Those are my guys.
Yeah, you got some solid people here. One guy who left a really strong impression on me at the last Survivor Series that we filmed, and we lost some of the audio, so we're still trying to figure out the footage.
Okay.
But one of my favorite guys that I met that night was the bad guy.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
dude,
like, it's such an ironic name.
It's so hard to pick. Look, I had to pick so many. Look, I have my boy, Edge Boys for Life, aka OGS Wako, Mason. He's my boy. He's my Edge boy. We always talk online, talk about strats. He comes over from Worcester. We always, try to break down the game and learn it deeper. Same thing with Marquise. Marquise, a.k.a. Final Fever. He also comes down every weekend, and I love seeing him. And he always comes in strong with his characters. He sticks with his guns, even if they're not the best characters, but he still sticks with it, and he's still really good with them. So many. It's too many to pick.
It's an inviting place. You can't be mad at that at all. Like that's a great feeling to have, especially as an event host. Like I do a couple events here and there, non gaming related, but when you get those people that are just like, yeah, I'm down, bro. Like I'm sold on what you're trying to do. Let's try to do it.
Right.
Like there's no better feeling than that at all.
Exactly.
So that's good. So we're gonna take 5. We're gonna dive into some video game news. I'm hanging out with Gavin, X1 Lounge, and we're having a blast at this tournament series real quick.
Yeah.
We're back. Just got to know Gavin a little bit, so we're gonna talk on some things happening in the video game industry. And one of the first things that I wanted to cover real quick, just because we're at a fighting game tournament, the recent announcement of Soul Calibur 6, and that is Soul Calibur is one of those games where you would think a ton of people who play Tekken are just gonna transition over, and it never happens. Like,
It's sort of true, semi-true.
like what's going on there? What's the technical issue? That, and I have another one that has a similar question.
It's I guess the best way to compare is like, do you like watermelon or cantaloupe? They're both melons, but they're completely different.
Different melons.
Completely different type of melons.
I was like, where is he going with this? One of them's obviously better.
I think that's the easiest way to like, as far as compare and contrast for the audience. I think that's the easiest way to compare. It really is like cantaloupe and watermelon. One is basically much bigger and it's much, I guess, sweeter. And it's like a lot more involved. So that would be like a watermelon, which is Tekken to me. And Tekken in Soul Calibur, it is actually toned down. It's more condensed, and playstyle is actually a little much more simpler in my opinion. It's not as deep. I say it's Tekken, but this is just me with a a vague.
No, I agree.
idea.
I feel like it's one of those where we can technically look at the game and say, yeah, it's not as deep because it has like the 3-button configuration for attack with the 1 guard button.
Yeah.
And it's a lot less going on versus Tekken. Like every button controls a limb, and like
it's crazy. It's a little nutty. But Soul Calibur, it's also definitely a good, strong game. I think the reason why it's not as popular as say Tekken is because even though it's made by the same company, it's just I guess most of the old players that used to play Soul Calibur, the strong ones, right? They don't play anymore. But whereas Tekken is such a legacy game where even all the OGs, like the old 1999 players, still play this game.
Yeah, my pops thinks he can take me in Tekken.
Right.
For whatever reason, he thinks like he's
it's
still got
crazy.
it.
Yeah, Tekken, it's crazy. I think it just has a better following. It's hard to say. But hopefully with Soul Calibur 6, it'll be, it'll revive, what the
Soul
franchise brings.
Soul Calibur always felt like the more gimmicks version of Tekken for me. Like this is the one where you can be really fun and goofy. We're gonna bring in some guest characters. The only Soul Calibur game that I really fell in love with was Soul Calibur 3, and it wasn't even because of like the fighting engine. It was because of the story mode mechanic where like you controlled the different armies and you sent them out to battle.
Send them out,
like, this is mad fun.
Yeah,
but outside of that, I was like, it's all right. Like it's decent.
I guess like for Tekken, it's like more appealing and less going on. Because Soul Calibur is like so many like sparks and swords, like hitting each other, and it's like it's kind of, I don't want to say messy, but it's just in a sword fight it's harder to see, I suppose.
Yeah.
Whereas
a lot more going on.
Whereas the fist versus fist, it's a little more like distinct. Like you can tell what's kind of going on, which is Tekken.
And Tekken is one of the least flashy games like on the fighting game market. Like it's very like boom, you get like the quick flashes based on like making contact, which kind of help you understand like how much damage you've done. But outside of that, there's not a lot of like spinning or like fireballs or crazy. And
the way they pizzazzed it actually is the slow-mo, and that shit can get really high.
That shit gets real intense. It's funny.
Yeah. So it is less messy, I feel, but sometimes messy is good,
So it's always been interesting though with Soul Calibur and Tekken's dynamic. Like they share a character naturally, Yoshimitsu.
Right.
So like they naturally share.
He combined the universes together.
Yeah, he combines the worlds, and it's like, but it's weird because when I play Yoshimitsu in Soul Calibur, he doesn't play anything like he does in Tekken.
No, it's just the mechanics are different.
It's the mechanics are so different that I don't. Like it just doesn't work. It doesn't translate well, in my opinion.
It's just they're both 3D games, and just I feel Tekken's much more simpler. Soul Calibur is also deep, but there's also like a lot of craziness involved. There's like tech traps and things like that. I don't want to get into.
Which is a great transition into the other game that I feel the same way about. Or rather, less so about, because I don't like it at all, is Dead or Alive.
Dead or Alive?
So Dead or Alive just announced Dead or Alive 6.
Right, yeah. I'm actually hyped for it, too, because apparently there's a good scene around the New England area for it.
And there's a lot of people who like Dead or Alive in this scene.
Yeah, and I really want to build it up, too. I like to just see a lot of energy, people just get together and play video games.
So now you know, guys, if you're interested in playing Dead or Alive, when that comes out, there'll be some stuff going on. Just hit up Gavin.
Actually, I hit up my boy, Lord Xavier. He's like the Rhode Island hero. He's like my little brother.
Island hero.
He's my little brother. He also helps out X1 Gaming. He helps me out every time at the tournaments. So he's definitely the guy to go to, especially for DOA and Smash.
Okay, I don't like Smash at all.
Oh,
Smash Brothers is the one definitive fighting game where I can concretely say I don't like this. I don't want to play it.
It's not for everybody. But
I feel like it doesn't have any fighting mechanics. Like it doesn't have like real.
It's different. I don't even want to say a party game anymore either. Even though it originally was made for a party game, but it really is a competitive game. I respect it now. People really love the game. Yeah.
Still not
Yeah.
there.
Still
They
not there,
just
but-
announced
yeah.
the new Smash Brothers.
Yeah. Yep.
And like,
Yep.
so everybody was like, "Yo, you're gonna get a Switch now because you got the new Smash Brothers." It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a new Switch because of that Pokemon game.
Right. yeah, the new Pokemon game, definitely.
Outside of that, I'm not
Yeah.
really interested in Smash. I think it's really great the way that they bring all the iconic characters together.
Yep.
So I love that aspect of it, and I've always thought to myself,
I
like,
love it
what if-
casually, like just
Yeah.
to mess around, play with the items and stages. Those are always fun.
Now that I think about it, like as I'm going through this list of different games that I wanted to ask you about, there were a lot of fighting games announced at E3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so
yeah.
Smash Brothers, Dead or Alive,
Yep.
Soul Calibur, and then of course the new Jump game.
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah.
which looks that looks amazing.
Oh, man. I don't know. I might actually have to quit Tekken now. No, I'm just kidding.
That one looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm still on edge because the last Jump game that came out was awful.
Was it
like
bad?
it was really, really bad. But this one just looks so
So
captivating
clean.
and good.
We'll
and,
have to
like,
wait. We'll have to wait. We'll see
and I was
more
watching
details.
gameplay. Like I don't really watch gameplay often, but I was watching some gameplay videos and I was like, wow, this looks amazing. Like
Oh, my God. Like crossing the universes. Oh, it's too good. Those are always fun.
and the way that they look like they're gonna cross it, because before it was just kind of like, oh, all the guys are in the same place, but now they're like adding some sort of depth and story to the whole
'cause
concept of it.
They see they can make it work. So.
Exactly. Like so, what are some ways that if you were making an anime like colliding game, what would be some ideas you have?
Oh, I always believed in the expression, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So to me, one of my favorite engines is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And as a team-based game, which I feel Jump can also be like a team-based game, much like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, it's a team-based game, 3v3. But from my opinion, that DBZ game, it has no defensive mechanics. So that's very important, is defense. In any fighting game, I believe it needs good defensive mechanics to play safe. So that way, it's not much of a. It could be like a rock paper scissors kind of game.
Yeah.
But what if we had like water and fire and I don't know, and lightning involved with the rock paper scissors game? Like different elements to it. So and DBFZ is a very hyper aggressive game with very little defensive mechanics. So you can get blown up really quick with one hit.
Which is interesting that you say that, because I think that's become a staple of Dragon Ball Z games. Like
Yeah.
every Dragon Ball Z
Let's go
game is
nuts.
very catered and pushing you towards being a super aggressor. Like it's all about attacking and like never closing that attack stream.
Yeah.
Because once you close it and that window opens up for your opponent, it's a lot like basketball where like your opponent's gonna get the ball eventually.
Right,
You
right.
just got to do way more damage before they do.
Right.
So I definitely see where you're coming from with that. But I feel like that's even going back to like the original Budokais that came out on,
Oh my
on
God.
PS2,
Yeah.
which I still think is the best game engine that they had.
Yeah.
But even those, it wasn't really about defense. It was about
Yeah.
vanishing and putting
Let's go
opponent
nuts,
down.
yeah.
Like,
But even when you see the show, it's like it's defensive because you're parrying. There's actually parryings and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But in the new one, there's not many of that. It's just like whoever gets hit first wins, kind of. It's different. That's just my opinion.
I just put up a video about not to fall off too far, but about my addiction to the mobile version. The Dragon Ball Legends game with like the cards and. Dude, I am way too far into this game. I've got like 6 or 7 characters maxed
you got
out already.
holographics. You got them holographics. Oh, those are
I got
so
a
good.
bunch of sparking cards. Like I'm
Oh,
literally,
man.
I put up videos and this is out of control. Like I'm just top dogging this right now. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that like as far as fluidity and like bringing all these characters together, I could see the Marvel vs. Capcom engine being effective because it did a great job of blending all the other styles.
Right.
And then Marvel vs. Capcom just like tanked. From
I
there.
know. It's the teams that develop the game. I don't know, they're inconsistent, and I don't think they're very knowledgeable about what they're doing. But that's just my opinion. Because, like I said, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But for some reason, people believe Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was broken. But really, just because you couldn't use all the characters in a way, doesn't mean the game engine's not good. It's actually really hype watching Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It has a long history.
Yeah, it's
And-
always great. Like I think most people tune into Smash Brothers and Marvel vs. Capcom's on like all the
Yeah.
tournament streams.
Yeah.
And it just has that longevity and classicness to it. I think the hard part in balancing a game like that comes from you're putting all the coolest people we know in the same game.
Right?
Like how do you
The
make one of
crossover
them a
is too
loser?
good. Yeah. Come on,
How do
Magnus.
you make anybody a loser? You can't. Like they're all the coolest people we know. So you like, but then the balance needs to be there
Right.
to represent.
It's hard.
that.
It's hard. It's difficult.
And I think that's where Dragon Ball Fighter Z did a great job.
Yeah.
Like you can pick up any character and feel like you still have a chance.
Yeah, it's
know?
it's a different how do you say it? I'm not saying the game's bad. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I would like more defensive options. But it's a very successful game, and it's very popular, and it's still
And
a
maybe
lot,
they'll
lot
hear
fun.
your request for the next one. Because
Maybe,
with
maybe
the
not.
success it's found, it's gonna have another one.
Right,
I mean,
right.
like,
Oh,
the
definitely.
DLC
Oh, this thing ain't
characters,
going away nowhere. This
exactly.
thing
Fighter
is,
Z's here to stay.
yeah, it's huge. It is huge.
That is a huge platform, a huge game. The new movie comes out in
Yeah,
December.
yeah. I can't wait.
So there's that. And like the whole ancient Saiyan thing, like I started diving into that
Oh
more because
my
that's what
God.
the whole like mobile
Spoiler.
premise is about.
yeah.
Like, oh man, if you haven't seen Dragon Ball Super at this point, like you're beyond
Fine.
saving from spoilers,
Right,
bro.
right,
Like it's
right.
too late.
It's all over the internet.
It's all over the internet. Everywhere you look, you're gonna see something about Dragon Ball, and it's too hard to get away from. But that's enough about fighting games. Let's go back to I want to say 96 or 97, Resident Evil 2.
Woo!
And now we're bringing that into the future. 2018 saw probably what I would define as the best looking remastered game of all time.
Dude, oh my God, that E3 trailer. I was like in tears of joy. Like, looks insane. I'm like, this is what I would feel like. It's like modernized. Right?
Yes.
So it's like, I feel the exact same fear I felt back then, even though the graphics were pretty bad. Right now it's pretty bad, but back then I was like ahead of its time.
Exactly.
So now this game looks way ahead of its time.
It's bringing back the exact story that scared the crap out of
Yeah.
me as a kid.
Yep.
But giving me the visuals that I'm used to as an adult.
Right. It's the twists that's gonna come, and then it's gonna be crazy.
Exactly, like those are some of the things that I've been speculating on. Is like, how does this new gameplay, like the new gameplay style, affect the story? Because there were moments in the story that they were difficult because of the camera angle. Like, it was a really bad camera angle, or like it was intentionally bad camera angles, and you're trying to navigate, you're trying to run from zombies, and you can't do it because you can't figure out like up means down means left, like all sorts of crazy stuff happening. So now with full control over the camera, do we run into a situation where Resident Evil suffers from feeling very action-packed because we have so much control of the madness, or does this benefit us in a way where they can add in parts that they weren't able to back then but wanted to because we have this control again?
You know what I think it really is? They knew, hands down, when Resident Evil 2 launched, they knew this game was their cash cow. It's like their diamond in the sky. So
Their Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy, literally, yeah. That's how they, another
I mean,
crazy
think of all the
story.
spin-offs they've done on Resident Evil 2.
Right,
Everything
right.
is about Leon and Claire.
Right,
no one
right.
else matters.
Yep.
Everything is about Leon
They
and Claire.
want to remake Resident Evil 2 the right way. That's why they probably released like 4, 5, and 6, and 7. All those they want to okay, what did we do wrong, and let's not do it wrong on Resident Evil 2. I have really good faith. The game's gonna be amazing.
It would be fantastic if they took the time to do this to Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 3.
They did Resident Evil 1, but
but not as much as they did Resident Evil 2.
It's just
if
like
they
a remake.
it was a remake with upscaled graphics, but it's the same gameplay.
Exactly, yeah.
But if they were to do that to Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, man, they're
Take
sitting
my
on
money.
boatloads of money.
Take my money. That's what I say.
Boatloads of money,
Just
like
take my money.
ridiculous amounts of cash. I can't imagine why they wouldn't do that. I was reading about some of the changes. So instead of having like Leon A and B and Claire A and B, they're just gonna have two separate stories that are going alongside each other.
Okay.
So now instead of having to replay certain sections where it doesn't really make sense because technically Claire already did this.
Did this part, yeah.
Now you're just gonna skip those parts and only play what Leon's
Dude,
doing.
remember
Only
there was
play
2
what's Claire.
discs? Was it 2 or 4 discs? I
It
can't
was
remember.
2 discs.
2 discs.
Yeah, it was 2
it's
discs.
nuts.
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah.
good times, man. And then
You kids don't understand. You have DLC. You can
no,
download
you know what
everything.
kids of today are never gonna understand that we had to suffer through save points.
Oh god, save points.
Save
Yeah.
points. Like I don't know what they're
The
gonna do with
pressure.
the ribbon system.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most trauma-inducing, stress
Yeah,
motivating. It was like having to think of how many ribbons you had left in the middle of a boss battle when you see your health gradually go. Like you're sitting there going, where did I save last?
Yep.
Like where was the last place that I was at that I saved for sure because I don't want to do all these puzzles again.
Heck no. Definitely not.
You get to points in the game where you're like, I know I'm gonna lose, so how bad is this gonna be?
It's like, oh no, you can't read my memory card. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. Memory card doesn't
Stuff
read.
like
Memory card, what is that? So
A
this is
scratch
this old
CD.
thing they
Yeah.
used to tuck into a funny slot on your system.
to save your data. And then we have scratch CDs. Oh my god.
Yes, yes.
But not no more.
Jesus, there was so
DLC.
much. There was so much.
Yeah.
So much. I haven't seen somebody like ask about a Game Shark,
Oh God, Game Genie, Game Shark, all those things in the past.
Game Replay, or Action
Oh, yeah,
Replay
yeah.
was Action Replay. All those great. Oh man. So in light of that, because this one looks like they're gonna get it right. What are some games that you wish would like come back?
Come back.
I'm gonna hit you with mine first, just because
Okay.
I think you'll
Yeah, give me an
appreciate it a lot.
example. Yeah, give me an example.
Bloody Roar.
Ooh, Bloody Roar Transform. That was a hype game too when I was young. I love playing that game.
Yeah, Bloody Roar is probably one of my favorite like fighting games that doesn't exist anymore. Like, what happened to Bloody Roar? No one can like concretely tell me what happened to Bloody Roar.
It's just probably the development team didn't feel like making it a deep game. They just wanted to just make a game, make some money, and then call it a night. But now with a wave of fighting games, they maybe someday they'll
Might
jump
see a
in.
resurgence.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. That'd be a definitely.
So
good
what is yours? What's one of yours?
game. Whew, let me see. Oh my God, some old games. Well, they already made Metal Gear Solid. That's they keep.
Metal
doing
Gear
that
Solid is
game.
life.
Most of my games that I picked pretty much came true. Maybe Croc. That was a cute game. I love
Croc!
Croc.
Oh man, Croc.
Oh my goodness, Croc was a cute game.
That was an amazing
Yeah,
platformer.
yeah.
Like that's definitely one of my fondest PlayStation memories. Between Croc and Crash. I wasn't like big on Spyro.
Yeah, no,
Gex
me
the
neither.
Gecko.
Gex the Gecko.
That was
yeah,
amazing.
no. Just Croc. It was a cute little alligator
yeah.
just trying to get around.
Tomba. Remember Toomba?
Yep.
That was a good one.
Toomba, yeah. That was a cute
great
one too.
Wow. We just went down a nice trip in memory lane. I'm gonna let you guys sit on that memory lane real quick while we take a quick break and we come back with some video game trivia. All right, and we're back. And of course, with my luck, right after the break, I get the hiccups. So we're going to try to power through this like champions because this is what we do. So it's video game trivia time. I just gave Gavin the breakdown, and he's going to try to help a lucky listener win a $20 network card to the store of their choosing.
Yeah.
So here we go. 60 questions. You pick 10 of them, 1 through 6. What's the first question?
Number 23.
23, the Jordan year. Jordan numbers.
Good,
Here we
good.
go.
You picked the right guy.
All right. So, this is an easy one, I think. Where was the first PS3 released?
Where? Japan?
Good answer. That's
I
like
was
the easiest
okay,
guess.
yeah,
Like,
that was an easy- I'm like, oh, it's a
where they
trick
make them?
I thought it was a trick question.
Nope. So you got one right. All right. Next question.
55.
55. Here we go. Scrolling. Do. 55. All right. In which 2011 Atlas puzzle game does the player take on the role of Vincent Brooks?
I need a lifeline. I have no clue. Not a clue. I'm sorry.
I need a
listener.
lifeline.
Yeah, not this one. I have no answer for this. I can't think. Atlas game?
Alice?
No, I know what Atlas Company
Oh.
is, but I just can't think of the game where that guy Vincent's from. Oh. Yeah, drawing a blank.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Random. Man.
Is the game called Blank?
Catherine, the game about infidelity that everyone loves.
Catherine? Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Catherine is actually one of those funny games where I bought the collector's edition thinking it was going to be worth something, and it's
Okay.
worth nothing, so I still have it.
Oh, wow. Okay, maybe we were something just because just one error.
It's not. It's going to keep going down because now they're releasing the remastered version
Oh,
with the
gross.
collector's edition.
Oh, that's
So
gross.
mine is literally worthless.
Oh, that's gross. That's too bad.
All right. What do we have for question
Number
3?
60.
Number 60. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know about this one. In the game Overcooked, which kingdom is in danger?
Oh, goodness. My Kingdom.
I don't even know what Overcooked is,
I
bro.
don't know either. Overcooked, man. What?
I didn't
I'm
make
thinking
these
some
questions. Like, I got user-submitted questions,
Ooh.
and that's a bad one as far as I'm concerned. But that one goes to the Onion Kingdom.
Maybe I could have. If I guessed it was a vegetable, though.
Right? Guess a vegetable. Like,
Boo earns.
all right. What do we got next?
Let's go to number 1. It seems like the higher the number,
The higher the
harder
number, the weirder they are.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Which year's top 10 grossing video games are available on PS4? So there's, of one of these years that we've existed in this world, all top 10 games are available on PS4.
I want to say 2017.
That was very close. It was actually 2015.
Yeah.
2015 was the year that PS4 dominated the market and was top selling console for 11 out of 12 months.
Jeez, holy crap. That's really good.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
What happened that year? How do we
consoles
repeat
too?
that?
Yeah, that's actually really good. That's good.
So that was a big year for them. All right, so we've got 1 out of 4 so far, which means you got one more question to go before you need to answer all of them in a row
Oh my
correctly.
goodness. All right, give me number 8.
Number 8. Oh my God, these year questions are tough. Which year was Minecraft released?
Oh my God. My ex-girlfriend's son's gonna kill me if I don't answer this right. I want to say 2006.
Ooh, way too early.
Way too early.
2009.
2009.
2009 was Minecraft.
Can I tip the 6 upside down and be like a 9? Oh man.
All right, so from this point forward, you've got to get the next 5 questions in a row correct.
Okay.
What are we working with?
Number 10.
Number 10. Huh. What is the name? No, hold on. I read that wrong. My bad. What is another name of Counter-Strike?
Oh, son of a.
That was the coolest reaction of all time.
this is gonna
I
kill
wish
me.
this was a video show because y'all would have seen his reaction and just love that.
Oh goodness.
It's the most natural, oh, fuck.
I felt like we discussed this the other day with one of my buddies too. There's another name for it?
Yeah, another name. It actually led to a full-fledged game at one point.
I mean, I don't want to say Rainbow Six, but I mean, everyone says CS:GO, but I can't think of the name anymore. I feel like we played it too. I'm sorry, guys. I can't answer this one. It's just blank.
So this one's actually really deep in PC culture, but it's Half-Life.
Oh,
So Half-Life was a mod from Counter-Strike, so
Oh
it's
my
technically
God.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they made Gary's mod, and they made a bunch of
Yeah.
things. Oh my goodness.
So Half-Life. Wow, you only got one question right out of 7.
Yeah. I'm not that much of an avid gamer. I just love fighting games specifically.
Let's just go for it with
All
the
right.
last ones. Why not?
All right, why not?
What do we got to lose?
Let's see. How about 14?
14. In PlayStation Network, only what type of messages are allowed to be left for other users?
You mean just direct messages?
Yep.
Direct messages?
Direct messages, that works. I mean,
DMs?
it says text messages
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was before you can't do voice
Right,
yet.
right.
But there you go. You got 2 of them right.
Hey,
There
but
you go. So
too
2 out of
late now.
8 so far.
2 out of 8.
What's the next one for you?
How about number 20?
20. Oh, that's easy. Yeah, you couldn't pick these earlier?
Yeah, I know, right?
What is the name of the princess whom Mario repeatedly stops Bowser from kidnapping?
Peach. Come on. I just had bad picks with the lottery.
Had some bad picks with the early
Yeah.
ones. All right, and last one.
How about 19?
19. Oh, wow. Name the USB webcam that works with the PS3 system.
Oh, the webcam?
Yep.
Logitech?
No, the iToy.
Oh, the iToy. Oh my God! I just felt like
Oh,
Logitech,
man.
I thought they partnered up into making a
The iToy.
The iToy. I remember
That's what
the
it
iToy.
is, the
Yeah,
iToy.
damn it.
And now the PS4
Yeah.
is just PlayStation Eye. It's not a
PlayStation
toy
Eye,
anymore. It's
yeah.
grown up.
And then Xbox has the Kinect.
The Kinect, yep.
Hey,
Yep.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they don't have the Kinect anymore, but who knows what's going to happen with that.
Right.
So, Gavin, it was a pleasure having you on the show, my friend.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much for
much.
coming. How can the people get in touch with you?
You guys can hit me up. Hit me up on the Twitter. I have Gavino Desu at Gavino Desu. Just hit me up whenever you guys want to do anything about fighting games, especially in Rhode Island. I like to, coordinate everything and get people together and basically just get better together.
I love it. Well, again, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you to X1 Gaming Lounge for letting us kick it here after the tournament. Well, after and during, because the tournament ran a little long today. But Thank you guys for having us. Thank everybody for listening. I'm Vega. You guys know to find me at Super Vega. This was another HMG podcast, and that was Gavin. Make sure you guys hit him up if you want to get the inside scoop on all the fighting stuff happening, especially if it's Tekken related. Get in there while you can. Thank you guys for listening. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.